Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Learning Lounge, your go-to place for easy and fun learning. In today's video, we are going to explore one of nature's most important processes, pollination and fertilization in plants. We will break down the different parts of a flower and how they play a role in pollination. By the end, you will see how these processes keep our ecosystem strong. Let's get started. The objective of this video is to help you understand the key parts of a flower, the differences between the male and female reproductive organs, how pollination takes place, and how it leads to fertilization. By the end, you will know why pollination is vital for plant reproduction and the environment. Let's begin by looking at the different parts of a flower. Flowers are made up of several important structures, each with a specific role. There are petals, sepals, and the other reproductive organs like male and female parts of a flower. These parts work together to carry out the process of pollination and fertilization. The female reproductive part of a flower is called the carpel, which is made up of several structures. At the top is the stigma, which is sticky to capture pollens. Below the stigma is the style, a tube-like structure that connects to the ovary. Inside the ovary are the ovules, which will develop into seeds after fertilization. The male reproductive organ is called the stamen. It consists of the filament, a long thin stalk that supports the anther. Anther produces pollen. The pollen contains the male reproductive cells that are necessary for fertilization. So remember that the long tube is called filament with anther. So revise these parts of a flower one more time. Female part is called carpel, which has a stigma, style, ovary and ovules, while the male part of flower is called stamen, and it consists of long tube which is called filament. Its filament supports anther and anther contains pollen. It's time to explore the process of pollination. Pollination is the process of transferring pollen from the male part of a flower, anther, to the female part or the flower, which is stigma. This transfer can occur within the same flower or between different flowers. When pollen lands on the stigma of a flower, it can travel down the style to reach the ovary. Pollination is the process where pollen, a powdery substance, is transferred from the male part of a flower called stamen to the female part of the flower called pistil or carpel. Pollination can occur through different agents like wind, insect, or even animals. When pollen lands on the stigma of a flower, it can travel down the style to reach the ovary. This is where pollination sets the stage for fertilization. The transfer of pollen grains occur by the help of the agents, and these agents are called pollinators. Pollination can take place in several ways. In some plants, pollen is carried by the wind, while in other, insect or animal transfer the pollen. Wind pollinated flowers usually have small, dull, dull colored petals since they don't need to attract insects like birds, worms, butterflies, and mosquitoes. They are dull in color. These flowers produce large amount of pollens. These pollens are lightweight, which is easily carried by the wind to other flowers. Now we are going to explore the properties and characteristics of insect pollinated flowers. Insect pollinated flowers are often brightly colored. They have scent to attract insects like bees and butterflies. These flowers produce sticky or spiky pollen, which can easily stick to the bodies of insects as they move from flower to flower. Like bees, butterflies, and birds transfer pollen while feeding nectar. Insects visit flowers to collect nectar. Nectar is a sweet liquid produced by the flower. As they collect nectar and pick up pollen and transfer it to other flowers, aiding in pollination. Pollination is a crucial for the reproduction of many plants. And this important and crucial process starts with the transfer of pollen grains. By the help of pollinators, animals like bees, butterflies, and birds transfer pollen while feeding on nectar. After pollination, the pollen travels down the style to reach the ovary. The process of pollination is very important to balance our ecosystem. Without pollination, plants would not be able to produce fruits and seeds, which many animals and humans rely on for food. So, in simple words, we can say that pollination is essential for the survival of many plants and animals. Let's repeat the process of pollination. The anther releases pollen grains. The transfer of pollen grains are carried by wind, water, or pollinators to the stigma. Third, and the important step, that pollen grains germinate on the stigma, forming a pollen tube. Now it's time to discuss the process of fertilization. Fertilization in plants is the process in which the male pollen cells fuse with the female ovules, which are present in ovary, and they form a seed. This is a crucial step in the life cycle of a plant. Once the pollen arrives, the ovule in the ovary, the male and female cells fuse together. The pollen tube grows down the style carrying the pollens. The pollen reaches the ovary and fuses with the egg, forming a fruit. This process marks the beginning of seed development. What happens after fertilization? After fertilization, the petals and sepals of the flower usually fall off. The ovary grows and develops into a new fruit, while the ovules become seeds, and this completes the cycle of reproduction. These were the main changes which happen after the process of fertilization. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you understand the amazing process of pollination and fertilization in plants.